So, what drives a blockchain use? Well, nice applications, easy use, and cheapness. So it's really, really blowing out all the metrics versus other chains right now, hence why its price outperforms both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's been definitely the big breakout of this cycle, and I think it continues because it's getting a lot of traction.
Even though global stock markets and cryptocurrency markets were very unstable last week, Raoul Pal, founder and CEO of Wealthion, is still sure that the company will reach a banana zone. This is the stage of any cryptocurrency bull market where prices rise sharply and market capitalization doubles or triples in a short amount of time. Pal says that during the 2011 and 2012 bull markets, the banana zone made Bitcoin worth $100, up from $50. Pal thinks that the banana zone will push Bitcoin above $200,000 to $300,000. In 2014 to 2016, the price ranged from $1,000 to $5,000. From 2019 to 2021, it will range from less than $44,000 to over $60,000. Pal's statement about the banana zone is based on his everything code, which says that when central banks print a lot of money, the value of currencies drops and asset prices go up. Pal wrote on X that as long as central banks print money, the prices of assets will keep going up. This is especially true when all the major central banks are quantitative easing and putting huge amounts of money into their markets. Pal thinks that the value of Bitcoin will rise again to impossibly high levels. It's been months, and Pal gives several reasons why this hasn't happened yet. The essay says that the major's wide range of poor grades is due to supply transfers from the last cycle and problems that came before. SL coins can be used in the Jump plus FTX Estate Mt. Gox, Germany project. We'll talk about all key overhangs in a different piece after this one is over. A friend told Skybridge Capitals that he was changing how he spent his money so that he could get more fiat from the bank and buy more coins instead of worrying about price changes. Anthony Scaramucci talks about the big picture, market trends, and his bold predictions for cryptocurrencies in 2025 on Wealthion Pal.
The S&P is doing about 8% a year since 2012, which basically just keeps your head above water. The Nasdaq's done about 17%, but Bitcoin's been doing 150%. And when you look at Nasdaq versus Bitcoin, the Nasdaq is down 99.97%. So it does do very good for your purchasing power, but this debasement is a real issue because most things just don't keep up with the debasement. So you're right. We're not going to have a massive debt blow up. What we're going to have is this ongoing bleeding of all of our purchasing power. So the volumes in ETFs are driven by two: net inflows, or people known as arbitrageurs who are, arbitraging the futures market. So we don't know what that flow was. So they would sell the futures, which trade at a premium, and then buy the ETF. We don't know what that flow was, but let's assume it's net inflows because Binance saw record inflows yesterday as well. So what we're seeing is people, I think, because of the education that you've been doing, I've been doing, Michael Saylor's been doing, everybody's been doing, people are starting to understand the game. And even Larry Fink has been explaining the game. The game is the erosion of your purchasing power, not via traditional CPI inflation, but via this more pernicious debasement idea. And I think people are understanding and have been educated that this is a volatile asset class. And, as I started at the beginning of the show, is if we do get sell-offs, people are starting to realize that's when I buy. That same strategy worked incredibly well in the NASDAQ over the years as well. You've got a big secular trend. Any wobbles, generally a buying opportunity.
Solana.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Solana is cheap, fast, and there's a lot of innovation coming. And we're seeing lots of nice, easy applications for people to use. So, what drives a blockchain use? Well, nice applications, easy use, and cheapness. So it's really, really blowing out all the metrics versus other chains right now, hence why its price outperforms both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's been definitely the big breakout of this cycle, and I think it continues because it's getting a lot of traction. It's just a very easy-to-use chain that's very fast, and a lot of the applications are just very user-friendly. Therefore, as an investor, that's the thing to keep in mind. How do I stay in this trade for as long as possible and compound what is the largest? If I go back to anybody and say, would you have bought the NASDAQ in 1990? Everyone would, hell yes. Well, here you've got it, 1990, not 99, 1990. You go, hell yes. Well, that's where we are now, somewhere in the mid-90s of the NASDAQ.
Pal says that everyone can gain from the fact that central banks print money all the time, which makes fiat currencies less valuable. Some assets like stocks and bonds have been shown to do better than the federal government's balance sheet. This is what they can do. Other businesses don't do as well as tech and crypto stocks. Crypto does much better than everything, even the balance sheets of the biggest companies in the world. The Bank of England Pal is still hopeful about the prices of cash and assets. The head of Real Vision and a former executive at Goldman Sachs says that the world economy will not go into big declines like it did last year because central banks will keep putting money into it on a regular basis. Some people believe that the Federal Reserve's sharp rate cut would send the U.S. economy into a recession, but Powell was right when he said that the central bank would be able to create a soft landing. This wasn't because the Fed works very quickly, it was because they just print more when things get tough.
So I actually think it's a bit of a red herring because the US dollar is the world's reserve currency. The US doesn't need to hold other assets in reserve. Yes, it's got gold, but that was a legacy from leaving the gold standard. Other countries have to have reserves to support their own currencies, so they don't need it. Now, would they do it? I think it sounds flashy. For what reason, I don't really know. But let's assume that they do. Let's say I'm wrong and they do build something. It's kind of a weird world because, yes, obviously it's good for the crypto market because there's yet another buyer. But it's also weird because Bitcoin was set up to try and replace the government's control over money. And now you're inserting the government as one of the largest buyers of private money. I don't really like that, actually. But, but it's probably net positive for the crypto price. Now, maybe it pushes private use of money away from Bitcoin if that were the case. Because if the government can manipulate it, they could dump it onto the market, they can buy more, and before you know it, they're using it like they are interest rates and controlling regular money, and we don't want that. NFTs are probably the most powerful technology in the whole crypto space. In a world where everything digital goes to zero in value, because you can make more of it, nothing can maintain value. What an NFT does is create digital scarcity and thus digital value. It also is a mechanism of storing and transferring ownership of something, a digital right, a contract. So the NFT craze of, monkey JPEGs and stuff, that was just the first iteration of using the technology. Some of those things, digital art, I think is going to be extremely valuable over time. But this technology is going to be used for all sorts of things, whether it's global ticketing or digital ID, or we've seen California start to adopt it for your car deeds. I think we'll use them for property deeds. I think we'll use them for derivative contracts. So NFTs as a technology haven't even started. They will be so pervasive that you won't even know that every ticket you go to an event is an NFT. Every contract that you have will be an NFT. Most securities that you might trade may be NFTs. But some of the art, and I've been collecting people like Xcopy and Beeple, these people are cultural artists that are very relevant to this time, and I think they'll be very valuable over time. So it's going to be a bifurcation as ever, but the best assets win.
A friend is still very positive about crypto assets after 2024. He said the banana zone hurt itself badly when it tripped over a banana peel. It's still a long way from being over. One of his most recent posts on X ends with the words, ultimately Fed. The dollar will go down because of the cuts, which will help the economy grow this summer and fall. These days we're in the maximum fear zone. Don't let go until you make a plan that works for your time and risk level. Views relax and take it easy, this will pass too. Remember that you shouldn't borrow money and that your top 3 to 5 assets should be under your control or signed by more than one person. Do not carry around dirty money and only trade a small degen bag worth less than 10% over a longer length of time. If you can, don't pay attention to the noise and buy when the price drops. Do you think the banana zone is still in effect, or do you think the markets will have some rough months? Write your answer in the box below. Click the like button if you like this video and want to see more like it. Sign up for our channel and check out our other videos for more videos with some of the best people in the business giving very positive advice. Thanks for coming.